First of all, thanks, Nate, and that is true. I know nothing about kicking, and I'll share this, I know nothing about statistical analysis either. I did take one stats course in college, and I'll never forget the professor. His name was Professor Smith. He was from England, and I could not understand. I was a thick English accent, and I had to work so hard just to understand what he was saying, not the content. So I can empathize, but you're taking on a great challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. So great job there. And it is true. It's universal with kickers. When they do miss, they do tend to come off at least 15, 20 yards away from wherever I'm standing. So I think that's something they all get down pat. That kind of goes around. There's a union there. In all seriousness, Nate was not only an outstanding player here. When the NFL people came around to scout him, the first thing I shared with them, it is extremely unusual when a kicker is a team leader, a strong team leader. And Nate was that. He was that at West High, three-sport athlete, was a captain on 3 state championship teams, and that probably endeared him as much to us as anything throughout the recruiting process. And when he came to Iowa, I think is what he did career-wise, it's well documented, but what he did behind the scenes as a team leader and just by example and by the things that he did working with his teammates, it was so much appreciated by all the coaches. Believe me, there's no coincidence that we had great success during Nate's career, so that's a big part of it. And then certainly he's gone on, had great success as an NFL player, now working on an MBA, and just a great representative of the program, of the university, and certainly our state and community. We're very fortunate to have him and Sam back in our town. So Nate, thanks very much. I'm glad you guys are back in town. I want to thank the I Club again. Great to have this event. Appreciate everybody being here and supporting it. Band is in rare season form, or 2 or 3 prizes. Seems like every week you guys are rolling right along. I hope our team can keep pace with you guys, Spirit Squad. So appreciate everybody being here. And Mark, always great to have you with us as well. Appreciate you being here. Henry, great to have you back, and really appreciate you and Pat making the trip up from Austin. And congratulations on your award tomorrow. I understand you're the president, or the homecoming king, is that what they call it? Or, the guy that does this, and I'll give you a little tip. I'll date myself. 30 years ago, I remember seeing Jimmy Stewart on Johnny Carson, so maybe it was 40 years ago. And he was the guy that, what is the name for that guy? Marshall, I'm sorry. Okay, so he was going to be the marshal at the Rose Bowl parade, and he said there are 2 things you do. You either do the window washer or the light bulb. So that's my Jimmy Stewart tip for you and Pat as you go through. But so great to have you back. And I think all of you know just how generous Henry and Pat have been to this entire university. We're all very appreciative of that. And I've had a chance to be around both of them. They're just tremendous people, just a tremendous couple first and foremost. And had the opportunity to watch Henry work a little bit. And I think you were 85 at the time, I believe, maybe 84. But boy, nonstop from early morning to late at night. I've never seen anybody with the passion, the focus, and it's just really inspirational to be around him and watch him when he's taking care of his business. So just great to have you back. Appreciate you being here. Also, Scott introduced my sisters in town. Jewel and Tom are in from Colorado, and she has a pretty good win-loss record, so it's great to have you guys back in from Fort Collins. Certainly, and I want to recognize one other person that wasn't recognized. I think I'm correct in saying Jean is the oldest, most experienced participant in the Ladies Football Academy. Jean Jaggard, sitting right there. Why don't you stand up, Jean? Please stand up. Lives out east, is a doctor graduated from the University of Iowa, and she was in the Ladies Football Academy, and she did not hurt anybody this year. She held back a little bit, so appreciate that, Jane. But great to have you here this week. Certainly, the last 2 weeks really went well for us, and we're excited about that. The team did a great job. The Western Michigan game is one of the stranger games I've ever been involved with. Anytime you have 4 non-offensive touchdowns, that's kind of a unique thing, as Scott mentioned. So that was great, but most of all, the guys showed up. They were certainly ready to play, and something we've been encouraging to do is try to finish a game. We've been struggling with that prior to that. The guys really closed that game out well, and really happy we were able in the fourth quarter to play a lot of different players, guys that have worked hard behind the scenes. They got a chance to go in and play, and really did a nice job. Looked like they knew what they were doing, which is always a pleasant surprise, and they really did a great job out there. So that was certainly a positive. Then last week to travel up to Minnesota, a place that we had not fared well the last 2 times. To win a road game in the Big Ten is always significant, certainly. To go up there and open up Big Ten play and bring Floyd home, that was a good thing. And a lot of highlights of the game, but a couple of things that stood out. James Morris obviously is recognized as Big Ten Player of the Week. We recognized as a coaching staff our defensive line. We thought they did a great job up there and really allowed our linebackers to do the work that they're supposed to do. It's the first time I can remember ever in coaching we honored our 2 fullbacks offensively. 2 great young guys, Adam Cox, Macon Plug. You probably don't know much about either of them. They were both moved to the fullback position last spring and just worked very quietly. Have really improved, and they're really respected by everybody on the team. So they certainly did a great job. And then in the spirit of kickers, Mike Meyer, jumped in and did a great job also. His kickoffs have been great all season long, really outstanding, and made a couple tough field goals, especially that last one. That was a big play in the game, certainly to put us up 16 points. So that was a really clutch kick, and that really is what Mike's all about. So all in all, it's been a productive couple of weeks, and now we move on to Michigan State in the homecoming game. Our captains this week are the same 4 players we seem to be settling with: James Morris, Chris Kirksey on defense, Brett Van Sloten, Mark Weissman on offense. Those guys are doing a great job, and really excited to have Bo Porter back as our honorary captain this weekend. Bo, as you know, is the manager of the Houston Astros. Just finished up his first season as the manager down there. He's had a very nice career. Was an outstanding football, baseball player here, much like Dan and Hughes back in the early 90s. Chose the baseball route, had a nice career, and then transitioned into coaching and has done very well at a young age. Has really risen and done a great job there. So we're thrilled to have him with us. And interesting story, I was talking to him on the phone earlier this week, and asked him about his wife, where he'd met and all that type of thing. She's ironically from Houston, and they met the first day of class here. I don't know how many people I've talked to that have met their wives or spouses first day of class at Iowa, so we always tell our guys to be careful about who they talk to on that first one. But Bo's another example of that. But we're playing Michigan State. That's an outstanding football team. They're coming off a tough 3-point loss over at Notre Dame. They've had an awful lot of success now the last 3.5 years, and there's a reason for that. They've got good players. They're very well coached. Offensively this year, they've struggled a little bit. They've transitioned to a new quarterback. They made that switch 2 weeks ago, or 2 games ago, and I think they're settled in there. They've always had talented, skilled players, big physical offensive line, and then defensively right now they're just it's really ridiculous what they're doing. They're first in the country in total defense, first in pass defense, and second in rush defense. And I don't know if we've ever played an opponent that was ranked that high statistically. I know it's early in the year, but they're very good there, and we're going to have a real challenge on our hands there. And then kick-wise, they've got an excellent returner. Number 3's a guy that's a pretty dangerous guy. So, it's going to be a big challenge for our football team. Certainly, we're excited about that. The guys have really been practicing well, particularly this past 4 weeks or so. They're learning how to practice and prepare, and excited about that. And it being a Big Ten game and homecoming, a lot of significance there as well. So, we're eager to get on the field. I have no idea what the weather's going to be. I've heard about 8 reports in the last 3 days. So I just told our guys to be ready for anything. But the big thing is it's a big challenge for us, and we're obviously very excited about being back in Kenneck. So we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And again, thanks for being here this morning. Thank you.